Hi, I'm Dorothy, and today we're going to talk about hardening off your vegetable plants, primarily tomato and pepper, but a few others also. This is part of an ongoing how to grow your own food series on the way to becoming more self-sufficient with your food. And it is now April 9th, 2020. We're still in the middle of a lockdown, but it is spring, and planting and growing your own food can be a wonderful project to help get you through this time. However, if you're seeing this in 2023, it's going to be just as relevant. So April 9th today in Minnesota is where I'm coming from, Forest Lake, Minnesota, which is a zone 4, borderline zone 4-5. And primarily I grow pepper plants and tomato plants. So that's what I'm going to harden off today. Now, why is it important to harden off? It's incredibly important if you start your seeds indoors because they've been babied. I mean, when you start them indoors, they're under the grow lights, they get tickles and caressed, and they get watered at just the right time, hopefully. And so if you take your plants from inside and that kind of controlled atmosphere, and then stick them outside in windy weather or cold weather, or when the soil is cold but the weather is warm, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. They will either get stunted if the soil is too cold. If it's windy, they'll probably get dehydrated, and that's probably the worst thing. They might die. Otherwise, if it's too sunny and they're coming straight outside, they're going to wilt. So this process of hardening off is being very gentle with your plants and starting to bring them out slowly and gradually over a period of about a week, just to kind of get them acclimated to what's going to be in store for them the rest of the summer. Okay, I'm going to bring in my husband to ask questions because I'm sure that I'm going to forget something or say it wrong because I've been doing this for so long. So hopefully he will ask the right questions. If he doesn't answer your questions, then please leave one in the comment below and I'll answer them. Okay, so let me go get him. Okay, so this is my husband, Chris. He's going to help me out if I forget anything. First of all, when these plants were started, these are pepper plants. They were started in mid-February. Just to let you know, these down here are seed leaves, and you'll get seed leaves on all of the vegetables. They will turn yellow and fall off. So you want to start sending these peppers outside when they have at least one set of leaves beyond the seed leaves. Okay, so started February, middle of February, so these are almost 2 months old, from germination. Okay.
You probably should even write on the back of your tags when you planted them.
When you started them, that's a good idea. I've never done that. All right. These are tomato seedlings. They were started in mid-March. I start them later because they don't take as long to germinate. Peppers take quite a long time to germinate, and they grow faster. So they also have the seed leaves, and as you can see, they're turning yellow.
These up here a little closer so
Okay.
people can see them.
Well, I can zoom in on it too, but seed leaves here, these are about a month old. So you can start 3 to 4 weeks. It just kind of depends. You need to watch your plants. And then I did want to show you, if you're not growing just tomatoes and peppers, these are squash that I started 3 days ago, and they've already germinated, and they're going to grow like crazy. So you have to kind of time, if you're starting things from seed, time when you think that they'll be ready to harden off. Now, the reason you need to harden off is so that they won't die when you put them out. So 3 to 4 weeks is a good time to start. Seed, one set beyond the seed leaves. Okay, so that's the timing. Now, you want to water the plants before bringing them out. Once you bring them outside, they're going to dry out really quick. And so the first day that you bring them out, you want to make sure that they don't get any direct sunlight, because they will get sunburned. And if you leave them out in direct sunlight too long, they don't like it, and they might die. This is an example of peppers that got a little too much sun the first day. And then these did not. See, we can hold them up next to each other. And you can tell the difference in the color of the leaves. These are sunburned. They're still gonna make it, but they're just not quite as healthy as the darker green ones. Okay. Water, so the first day that you bring them out, it's really important to only have them out for maybe 3 or 4 hours. It depends on how warm it is, how cold it is, and wind. You do not want to bring them out if there's wind. Wind is probably the most detrimental thing to any of the plants that have been grown indoors that there is, especially a cold wind, but any kind of wind. It dehydrates them and they dry up.
So today you can see the plants moving a little bit from the breeze we've got, but they aren't bending over. They aren't being pushed on hard.
And it is a little bit chilly today. It's 45 or something? 45. Ideally, you would want in the 50s, 3 to 4 hours the first day, dappled sunlight or shade. I mean, not deep shade, but like this has a little bit of sunlight, but not direct sunlight. So this is a perfect spot. My husband built this for me. It's great. Now, I did want to show you also, these are pepper plants that have not been potted up. I thought that some of mine were going to die, so I reordered and started again. So these are still in their plugs, and they need to be potted up into these 4-inch pots before I'm going to bring them out. Okay, so wind, temperature. I'll show those in a minute. those are my failures down there. So no wind on the first day, dappled sunlight or shade, 3 to 4 hours. And then you might, depending on the weather, if the weather's bad the next day, leave them inside. But just keep gradually getting them out more and more over about a week. And so like the next day you bring them out, they can be out 6 hours. Just keep an eye on them. If they start to look wilted, take them back in. Okay. I just wanted to show you that I'm not always successful, even though I've been doing this for so long. I don't really know what happened to these. These are tomato plants. They were planted at the same time as the others. My suspicion is the potting soil was not very good. I used 2 different kinds, but I don't know. Now, I will say, however, that tomato plants and most vegetable plants are a lot hardier and stronger than you think. I have left these out. Sometimes I've had a hailstorm when they've been outside and they just look decimated. They look like they'll never make it. And so I toss them in the compost pile and then they start growing. So don't toss them. These yellow parts are the seed leaves. So I'm hoping that if the growing part is good, that they'll still make it. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time with them. All right. Problems. Those are the problems. Sunburn, wind, hail.
Critters.
Oh, yes, critters. The other problem I had one year, I brought them out before he built me these tables. I had them on the ground out in the driveway to harden off. And voles, mice, and rabbits will eat them, especially the pepper plants. Rabbits and mice, they love the hot pepper plants, the chili plants. So keep them off the ground. Okay, I think that's all. I do have a post that goes into more detail on this on farmtojar.com, so visit us there. Okay, cheers.
I'll go get my tractor out.
Okay, you do that so well. Well, I lost Chris, but that's all right. I have a couple other things to tell you. If the weather stays bad for a really long time and you're getting hailstorms and you just cannot get your plants out and hardened off, pot them up into increasingly larger sizes so that they have room to grow and they will be ready when the weather is more accommodating. You also might want to fertilize the leaves a little bit, and I would do it with some kind of fish emulsion or something really rich in nitrogen. Nitrogen will be good for the leaves. You want to back off the nitrogen as they start developing their fruit, because you want fruit, not just leaves. But at this initial stages, nitrogen is going to be pretty important. Now, if you want to see where these lovely plants are going to end up, I'm going to do a garden tour later on tonight. It's still spring, there's not much to see, but I'll show you where they're going to bed down and how much land it takes. So come back for our next video and I'll take you on a little garden tour. All right? Cheers.